What do Jay-Z, Beyonce, Kim, Drake, Kanye, 50 Cent, and Rihanna have in common? They've all just been officially named in the explosive trial that's threatening to tear Hollywood apart, and Diddy is at the center of it. Witnesses say the music mogul completely lost it in court as the list of A-list names grew longer by the minute. Why are so many superstars suddenly being pulled into this chaos? What secrets are buried behind the scenes of the glittering celebrity world? Shocking connections, hidden alliances, and previously sealed events are now front and center in a courtroom frenzy that has the world watching. Who's telling the truth? Who's hiding more than they admit? And most importantly, who's going down with Diddy? Starting off, Diddy's best friend and business partner Jay-Z finds himself unexpectedly dragged into one of the most explosive trials shaking the entertainment world. Known for their decades-long friendship and countless joint ventures, their bond has symbolized power and success in hip-hop. But now, the courtroom has cast a harsh light on their partnership, raising serious questions. For years, Sean Diddy Combs and Sean Jay-Z Carter have been more than just collaborators. They have been pillars of the music industry and business alike. Their relationship extends beyond the stage and studio, encompassing luxury branding, record label ventures, and even philanthropic endeavors. Together, they built an empire that seemed untouchable, an alliance that represented success in the entertainment business. However, the recent trial has threatened to unravel that image. Prosecutors named Jay-Z directly in court documents, linking him to financial dealings and sex allegations.
Rap and media mogul Jay-Z now accused of raping a 13-year-old girl in 2000 along with Sean Diddy Combs. Now, this lawsuit was originally filed back in October in the Southern District of New York, listing Diddy as the defendant, but it was just refiled today to include Jay-Z now, whose real name is Sean Carter. Of course, he's the husband of Beyonce. The anonymous accuser alleging the assault occurred after she was driven to an after-party following the MTV Video Music Awards. The suit says she was offered a drink that made her feel, quote, woozy, lightheaded, and felt like she needed to lie down. Shortly after, the suit claims Jay-Z and Diddy entered the room where she was resting, eventually assaulting her. And now, just in the last hour, we are hearing from Jay-Z and his team of lawyers. They are denying the claim and say that they are the victims of blackmail, saying, quote, I will not give you one red penny, and my only heartbreak is for my family.
While no charges have been brought against him yet, the implications alone have sent shockwaves through the industry. It's rare for a figure of Jay-Z's stature to be publicly tied to such a controversial and high-stakes legal battle. Sources close to the investigation reveal that authorities are scrutinizing the financial infrastructure that supported Diddy's operations over the past decade. Jay-Z, as a trusted business partner, inevitably comes under the microscope. Court filings suggest that their shared ventures may have involved complex transactions, some conducted through shell companies and discrete partnerships designed to obscure the trail of money. This raises a crucial question. Was Jay-Z simply a savvy businessman navigating the industry, or was he privy to more questionable activities behind the scenes? Prosecutors seem intent on finding out, and Jay-Z's cooperation, or lack thereof, could significantly impact the course of the trial. The courtroom atmosphere reportedly changed dramatically the moment Jay-Z's name was called. Observers say Diddy's demeanor shifted noticeably, suggesting the mention struck a personal chord. Their relationship, forged over decades of mutual respect and shared victories, now faces unprecedented strain. Jay-Z's silence in response to the revelations has only fueled speculation. His team has declined to comment publicly, opting for a low-profile approach amid the mounting pressure. Fans and critics alike have combed through Jay-Z's past collaborations with Diddy, looking for signs of hidden connections. From co-produced albums to joint investments in liquor brands and fashion lines, the two moguls' intertwined business ventures form a sprawling web that is now under intense scrutiny. Beyond business, this development has personal ramifications. Jay-Z's marriage to Beyonce, arguably one of the most influential power couples globally, adds another layer of complexity. Public perception moves quickly in scandals involving celebrities, and the couple's brand could suffer collateral damage, regardless of Jay-Z's actual involvement.
I wasn't willing to do what was expected of me. Not talent-wise, but in other areas. It's difficult when you're that young to understand your worth as a woman through the men that I was around, and that was very traumatic. I don't think any of us have healed from that. Diddy would be like, you're not hot anymore, like what happened? You don't have anything, like you don't have any curves. You're looking like you're not looking like, I can't get people to think that you're my good looking person. And there was no Me Too at that time. There was no protecting anyone at that time. You signed a million NDAs and a million contracts that took away all your rights.
Industry insiders warn that if evidence surfaces linking Jay-Z more directly to illegal activity, the fallout could be devastating. Not only could it jeopardize his business empire, but it might also trigger a domino effect, pulling in other high-profile associates connected to both men. Conversely, if Jay-Z is cleared or only marginally involved, the episode could strengthen his reputation as a resilient figure capable of weathering storms that topple others. Along with Jay-Z, his beloved wife Beyonce has also found herself in hot waters amid the explosive trial rocking the entertainment world. Known globally as Queen Bee, Beyonce's influence spans music, fashion, film, and philanthropy. Her name being officially linked to the case has sent shockwaves through fans, industry insiders, and the media. For years, Beyonce and Jay-Z have been the ultimate power couple, blending their creative genius and business acumen into a sprawling empire. Their partnership projects strength, unity, and success, often shielding their personal lives from the public eye. But this legal battle has cracked that carefully maintained facade, thrusting Beyonce into an unexpected spotlight. Although Beyonce has not been accused of any wrongdoing, her presence in the court documents raises significant questions. How involved was she in the financial dealings and events under investigation? Was she aware of any questionable activities linked to Diddy's empire? And how will this impact her carefully cultivated brand and public image? Sources close to the case suggest Beyonce's inclusion is largely due to her close connection to Jay-Z and their joint business ventures. From co-owned properties to shared stakes in fashion, entertainment, and media companies, the trial is peeling back the layers of their combined financial network. The scrutiny now extends beyond Jay-Z's actions to the broader ecosystem that supports their empire. Not only are Jay-Z and Beyonce caught in the shadow of this explosive trial, but a much larger chain of names has been dragged into the spotlight, one that also includes Kim Porter, the late mother of 3 of Diddy's children. Though she passed away tragically in 2018, Kim's legacy has been unexpectedly thrust into center stage as investigators now explore whether she was more than just a partner, but possibly a silent witness to Diddy's darker world. For over a decade, Kim was seen as the quiet strength behind Diddy's empire, loving, composed, and fiercely private. But behind the scenes, sources now claim she may have been a key observer to financial manipulations, secretive parties, and even coercive behavior that's only now being brought to light. New court documents reportedly suggest that Kim may have grown increasingly uncomfortable with Diddy's inner circle, and that she allegedly attempted to distance herself from the business altogether in her final year.
Right, a key figure in the Sean Combs saga. And with the arrest and indictment of rapper, producer, media mogul Sean Diddy Combs on federal racketeering and sex charges, there is this renewed interest in all aspects of his life, all the people in his life. And that includes, of course, Kim Porter, Combs' ex-girlfriend, who tragically died in her Los Angeles home back in November of 2018.
One anonymous former staffer even claims Kim had begun documenting strange activities at one of Diddy's LA properties, including unexplained late-night meetings, sealed-off rooms, and sudden changes in security staff. She was nervous, the source alleges. She started writing everything down. She was scared. Insiders now believe Kim may have intended to come forward. Not publicly, but legally. Whispers of an unfiled custody revision and a private journal detailing abusive control tactics have gained traction online, even though none of these items have been confirmed by authorities. Still, that hasn't stopped public speculation from erupting. Did Kim Porter die with secrets that could shake the case wide open? Some believe so. There are now rumors that she had quietly reached out to a legal team just weeks before her death. and that a close friend may still hold encrypted messages she sent in her final days.
There was this Department of Homeland Security investigations officer that did testify at Diddy's trial about what she found. And we'll put some pictures in right here of different things they found. One of the things they found was a bottle of medication. They found a few bottles of medication, but they did find one specific bottle of clonazepam prescribed to the name Frank Black. Now, in and of itself, who cares? But Cassie Ventura had actually testified that Diddy went by the name Frank Black in his aliases. Like, she actually had him in her phone as Frank Black.
While names like Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Kim Porter swirl in a storm of secrets and speculation, Cassie became the first to pull back the curtain. And she didn't just whisper, she roared. In a move that shocked the industry and shook the foundation of Diddy's empire, Cassie, Diddy's former partner of over 10 years, filed a bombshell lawsuit in 2024 accusing him of rape, physical abuse, drug-fueled manipulation, and long-term psychological control. Though the lawsuit was settled in less than 24 hours, its impact was seismic. It cracked open a wall that had protected the powerful for far too long. And now, that crack is becoming a collapse. But Cassie's case wasn't just a headline, it was a signal. Behind the scenes, she's rumored to be cooperating with federal investigators, turning over digital files, time-stamped evidence, and private communications that allegedly map out years of toxic behavior. Some insiders say her cooperation has already provided key leads on other high-profile names who frequented Diddy's world. Names we're only beginning to hear in court. Among the most chilling rumors, that Cassie kept a digital diary throughout her time with Diddy, not for fame, not for leverage, but for survival. And that diary, sources say, details more than just personal trauma. It allegedly contains exact names, dates, locations, and descriptions of events at exclusive parties where A-list celebrities, executives, and influencers witnessed or enabled what she endured. One haunting alleged entry describes a night when Cassie was locked inside a hotel suite for hours, while high-powered guests at the same event were instructed to stay quiet and let it pass. Another describes being forced to attend strange, ritualistic parties where phones were confiscated and NDAs were signed at the door. Yet lines were crossed that NDAs could never cover. Moving on to the next big name on the list, someone who has been trolling Diddy non-stop. For months, 50 Cent has made it his personal mission to troll Diddy into the ground. From memes to late-night jabs, the G-Unit mogul seemed to be enjoying Diddy's downfall a little too much. But now, it's not just shade. It's starting to sound like something deeper. Was 50 just clowning, or has he known something this whole time? It started with Instagram digs and sarcastic videos. I told y'all, he'd write under headlines about Diddy's raids and lawsuits. At first, it felt like the typical 50 behavior, petty, funny, and perfectly timed. But then he began dropping names, hinting at places, even suggesting that certain tapes existed. Suddenly, his trolling didn't feel like jokes anymore. It felt like warnings. And now, insiders say federal agents have taken notice. Behind the scenes, sources claim 50 Cent has already been approached by investigators, and he may be cooperating. Some say he's provided tips about private events, shell companies, and mutual associates linked to Diddy's empire. Others believe he's been sitting on receipts for years, waiting for the right moment to strike. Some believe he's been hinting at industry secrets buried under the glitz for decades, but it's not all fun and games anymore. According to insider chatter, 50 may have recordings from a party in Miami in 2016, footage that could link key names in Diddy's circle to more than just partying. He allegedly kept the footage after security tried to wipe the cameras. He never throws away leverage, said one industry source. Ever. And it makes sense. 50 and Diddy have long had a complicated relationship, somewhere between rivalry and outright hatred. But beneath the public feuds may have been a man waiting, watching, collecting. So is 50 Cent a troll? Sure, but is he also a key player in Diddy's unraveling? That's the question everyone is now asking. Now, in this list, one name has always been there since the very beginning: Usher. Not as loud as 50 Cent, not as defiant as Cassie, but always right there, quietly orbiting Diddy's world. From glitzy parties to behind-the-scenes industry deals, Usher Raymond IV has remained a near constant presence. And now, as names pile up in the courtroom, people are finally asking, what does Usher know? And what has he seen? It goes back decades. Usher's connection with Diddy isn't some casual industry friendship. He was just 14 when he moved into Diddy's home to work under his mentorship, a time the R&B star once described as wild. In old interviews, Usher laughed off stories of being exposed to adult environments far too young. But those clips have resurfaced in an entirely different light, and fans are no longer laughing. Was Usher a victim, a witness, or both? Insiders now claim that Usher may hold crucial information about the early days of Diddy's empire, especially about how young talent was managed, molded, and sometimes manipulated. One insider alleges that Usher saw everything from the ground level, including late-night parties, celebrity guests, and disturbing behavior disguised as mentorship. More recently, whispers suggest that Usher may have been present during multiple private events now under investigation, including 2 high-profile weekends in the Bahamas and Vegas where alleged misconduct occurred. While there is no direct accusation against him, his proximity to Diddy throughout key years has drawn growing attention from prosecutors and, reportedly, a request for an interview. What's even more intriguing is his silence. Unlike others who've distanced themselves, Usher has said nothing. No comments, no denials, no Instagram subtweets. To some, that's professionalism. To others, it's avoidance. And in a case built on silence and secrets, even silence starts to feel like a statement. If Usher was the beginning, then Justin Bieber was the next chapter, and maybe the most complicated one yet. For years, Diddy proudly referred to Bieber as his little brother. Their relationship was splashed across headlines and social media. Flashy cars, red carpets, private jets, all while Bieber was still a teenager. But now, with lawsuits mounting and a grand jury reviewing years of allegations, fans and investigators are revisiting those early mentorships with chilling new questions. Was Bieber just another rising star, or another witness? In old interviews, Diddy often bragged about giving Justin the best industry education possible. But what did that really mean? According to a resurfaced 2012 tweet from Bieber himself, quickly deleted back then but now recirculating, he joked, "Diddy says I'm grown now. Don't know if that's a good thing, LOL." At the time, it seemed innocent. Now, it's unsettling. News reporters close to the investigation claim that Bieber was present at multiple high-end Diddy parties, including some that other witnesses describe as unfit for a teenager. One source alleges that Justin was often ushered, no pun intended, into VIP rooms away from cameras, and that a bodyguard once cut the power to surveillance in a luxury condo suite minutes before a gathering began. None of this directly implicates Bieber in wrongdoing, but it raises a darker possibility. Was Justin exposed to things that still haunt him? There's speculation that Bieber, now living a quieter life with wife Hailey, has distanced himself from those early relationships for a reason. Friends say he's been in contact with legal counsel, not as a defendant or target, but as someone who may be called to testify about events he witnessed between 2009 and 2015. Some reports go even further, suggesting that Bieber once tried to cut ties with Diddy entirely after an alleged incident at a private yacht party. He reportedly disappeared from public appearances with Diddy almost overnight. "There's a reason you stopped seeing them together," one source claims. "Something shifted." Just when you think the list couldn't get any longer, in walks Kanye West. Known for his larger-than-life personality and unpredictable moves, Kanye has always been a lightning rod in the music world. But now, his name has surfaced in the courtroom drama surrounding Diddy, raising eyebrows and questions no one saw coming. What's Kanye's connection? Some say it's been there all along, just under the radar. Sources close to the investigation allege that Kanye and Diddy shared more than just studio time and collaborations. Behind closed doors, they were part of a network of celebrities who were present at some of the most controversial events now under scrutiny. There are whispers that Kanye was present during a private party in 2017 where allegations of coercion and intimidation surfaced. a gathering that has become a focal point in the trial. Witnesses describe a chaotic night filled with tension, with Kanye reportedly clashing with security over access and surveillance cameras.
And by the way, y'all done already foot me so much. Y'all already black mirrored me. You already made everybody think I'm crazy. You already took my family away. You already separated all my friends. I don't got no celebrity friends. Because when I was on TV, on Instagram saying, I don't know where my child is, and the Kardashians kidnapped my daughter in public, and I didn't have the address of my child, none of these niggas that want to say something
Travis
now.
gave you the address, though, right?
Travis gave me the address.
Right.
But as far as Meek Mills,
No.
Puff Daddy, whoever, none of these niggas, all you fake hard niggas, you.
Wait,
Hold on.
Okay.
All you fake hard, you. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck because you can't shoot nobody anyway. And the reason why you got to talk is because you did a deal, you fucking fed. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got to come at me, because part of the deal for you to be a do all that.
But Kanye's unpredictable nature means his role is hard to pin down. Was he a passive observer? A reluctant participant? Or did he play a part that no one is ready to talk about yet? Legal experts note that Kanye's volatile history and public breakdowns could complicate matters, making him both a challenging witness and a potential wild card in the courtroom. His past social media rants, erratic interviews, and sudden shifts in alliances make every move he makes a headline-grabbing event. Insider reports also suggest Kanye may have recorded moments from these events himself, keeping private footage that could either incriminate or exonerate multiple parties.
Things didn't really improve for West when a former employee sued him for allegedly sexually assaulting her and then firing her later on. And by the way, this connects back to Combs because Lauren Pashota, who filed this amended complaint in October, claimed that before she had worked as West's assistant, he had co-hosted a party with Sean Combs in Santa Monica, California. And she says at the time she was working with a different musician client who wasn't identified in the complaint, but who'd been invited to the studio party. And she claims that West told everyone that they had to drink or leave the party, but after drinking a few sips of her drink, Pashota claims she, quote, suddenly started to feel disoriented and began to slip into an altered and highly impaired state. And Pashota says that she doesn't remember anything else, woke up the next day feeling traumatized and disturbed.
Whether those recordings exist or will ever be released remains a mystery, but their potential impact is undeniable. Adding fuel to the fire, Kanye has reportedly been in contact with Diddy's legal team in recent weeks. Observers wonder if this signals cooperation, a deal in the works, or simply a power play in a battle bigger than either of them. Whatever the truth, Kanye's entrance into this saga has turned the spotlight even brighter, and the stakes even higher. Now, if Kanye's name is ringing through the courtroom, then the Kardashians' presence is impossible to ignore, especially Kim Kardashian, who insiders claim was a regular fixture at Diddy's most exclusive and infamous parties. But these weren't just glamorous nights out. Rumors swirl that Kim wasn't merely a guest, but a player in some of the darker, hidden dramas unfolding behind the velvet ropes.
So who was with you this weekend?
A bunch of my friends.
Diddy, Quincy, Justin Bieber,
So far,
French
so good.
Montana.
Do you even know half the people you're naming?
No.
She didn't go to bed. I haven't been to bed yet.
You haven't?
I want to be Clay when I grow up, Court. I got on a plane at 5:30 a.m. Go to this party. I think half the people there were butt naked. You would have loved it.
Word on the street is that Kim's role went far beyond sipping champagne and posing for the cameras. Some sources allegedly say she was involved in managing who got invited to the secret rooms, spaces where some of the trial's most explosive moments reportedly took place. Could Kim have been part of the inner circle that kept the darker sides of these gatherings under wraps? The gossip mills certainly think so. But here's the kicker. A leaked, totally unverified report claims that Kim once confronted Diddy himself during a heated argument at a Malibu party, demanding to know what really goes on behind closed doors. The story says she was worried that the parties were spiraling out of control, but was warned to stay silent if she wanted to keep her place in the industry's top tier. Even wilder? A few tabloid sources claim that Kim was spotted on a private jet flying between Miami and New York with mystery briefcases and encrypted phones, fueling speculation that she may have been transporting sensitive information or even evidence related to the ongoing investigation. Khloe and Kourtney aren't off the hook either. Some insiders whisper that Kourtney rumored business deals with some of Diddy's associates might have been less about cosmetics and more about money laundering and hush payments, a claim her reps quickly denied, but one that's causing major gossip waves. And the texts! Oh, the texts! Supposedly, there are screenshots circulating online showing secret conversations between Kim and Diddy's lawyers, discussing strategy and potential payoffs to keep certain witnesses quiet. While these screenshots have never been verified, their mere existence has fueled wildfire speculation about the Kardashian family's true involvement.
Not only do we have P. Diddy listed in a federal lawsuit, but also other major celebrities are tied to the case too.
During day one of Sean Combs' criminal trial, we heard some celebrity names come up. They were listed on a people and places list that was given to prospective jurors as names that might come up during the trial when it kicks off next week.
The day will come when we will name names other than Sean Combs, and there's a lot of names. It's a long list already. And of course, I already know who some of these individuals are, but because of the nature of this case,
If you're a celebrity in Hollywood right now, Diddy's trial is starting to look like doomsday. The federal case officially kicked off, and it's not just Sean Diddy Combs who's under fire. His entire inner circle might be going down with him. Every week, more names get revealed in new lawsuits, affidavits, and court documents, and what's coming could shake up the entertainment industry forever. Today, we're diving into the long list of A-listers being linked to Diddy. Some allegedly knew too much, others partied a little too close to the chaos, and a few, they're being accused of hiding darker secrets. From pop icons and rap legends to athletes and actors, this trial could become the biggest celebrity implosion in decades. Let's start with two of the industry's most powerful names, Jay-Z and Beyonce.
So who's next? Y'all don't see the lineup? Yeah, we see the lineup. I'm just waiting to see who's next. Jay-Z is setting Diddy up. Why is everyone having such a hard time? He ain't doing different.
Jay's relationship with Diddy goes way back. They collaborated on songs in the late 90s, and as two moguls who built billion-dollar empires, they were often seen together in public. Beyonce, too, was spotted hanging with Diddy at major events, including his 50th birthday bash and NBA games. But when Cassie Ventura filed a bombshell lawsuit against Diddy in late 2023, accusing him of SA and trafficking, the public started asking questions. Who else might have known? Jay and Bey were photographed frequently with both Diddy and Cassie, so naturally, theories emerged. On TikTok, people started claiming that some celebs publicly thank Beyonce just to stay on her good side, like JoJo Siwa, who made a cryptic speech in October 2024 about keeping the dance community safe.
Celebrities thank Beyonce at award shows so Beyonce will spare their life. So this all goes back to before many of y'all were born, starting with this girl named Aaliyah. Now, Aaliyah was a pretty famous artist that was competing with Beyonce around the time Beyonce started to get famous. Now, sadly for Aaliyah, she passed pretty early on before she actually got to hit like the peak of her career.
Then came a December 2024 lawsuit that named both Diddy and Jay-Z in the alleged assault of a 13-year-old girl at a 2000 MTV after-party. Jay's legal team slammed the lawsuit, calling it baseless and accusing the accuser's attorney of blackmail. The suit was eventually withdrawn, but Jay filed a defamation countersuit, saying the whole thing caused death threats against his family. Unfortunately, that wasn't the end. Another civil suit filed in April 2025 named Jay and Beyonce as party attendees during a 2015 incident where a man named Joseph Menzero claimed he was assaulted by Diddy. He alleged being drugged, paraded around in a fetish mask, and forced into humiliating situations at a Star Island party. Jay's team came with receipts. He was in New York City that day, doing press for Tidal. LeBron James was also named, but his camp said he was with the Cavs in Cleveland. Still, the details are disturbing. Joseph claimed that Diddy used secret tunnels to move guests between houses, and that Beyonce seemed confused and alarmed upon seeing him. Gloria and Emilio Estefan, the owners of the mansion where it happened, denied wrongdoing but said the house wasn't their primary residence. The entire setup sounds like a scene from a twisted movie, but it's all in legal documents now. Now, while Jay and Beyonce are actively distancing themselves, Kanye West is doing the exact opposite.
You know what I'm saying? I need you out there, you feel me?
Yeah. I hear you. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Once close with Diddy, Kanye's relationship took a dive after Diddy publicly criticized him for the White Lives Matter controversy. But when Diddy got arrested, Ye came out as one of his most vocal defenders. So much so that he dropped a song in 2025 featuring vocals from Diddy's jailhouse phone call and included his daughter North on the track. Kim Kardashian tried to block it in court, but Kanye dropped the track anyway.
Kanye has even downplayed allegations against Diddy in interviews, calling him his twin and saying he was ready to go down with him. His recent appearance in a KKK-style outfit during an interview only added fuel to the fire. He's even tried to justify Diddy's behavior, saying things like, "You have to truly be in love to express rage like that," after a video surfaced of Diddy assaulting Cassie Ventura. Kim understandably has gone radio silent, but behind the scenes, she's reportedly terrified. Because the truth is, Kanye and Kim's ties to Diddy run way deeper than most people realize, and those connections are getting harder to explain. Now, before Kanye was a household name, he looked up to Diddy as the blueprint. Diddy had it all: music, fashion, and television. He wasn't just a rapper, he was an empire. Kanye followed the same path, from beatmaker to global superstar. And once Ye hit that A-list tier, he wasn't just emulating Puff, he was collaborating with him. They worked together on Diddy's 2006 track Everything I Love, and in 2007, they were even photographed alongside Prince William and Prince Harry at a Diana tribute concert. That's how tight they were. But what if the biggest influence Diddy had on Kanye wasn't musical, but personal? In 2012, when Kanye famously declared his love for Kim Kardashian with the track Cold, he sampled a 1997 Diddy song, Looking at Me. That same year, Ye made a bold move and publicly praised Diddy during the BET Awards, saying, "He inspires my life choices, my wife choices."
He inspires so many of my choices, so many of my life choices, my wife choices.
That wasn't just a compliment, that was a confession. It's now being speculated that Diddy didn't just influence Kanye's music, he may have played a role in Ye choosing Kim as a partner. But here's where things get even messier. Diddy has long had ties to the Kardashian family. He's made multiple appearances on Kris Jenner's talk show where he admitted to having a crush on her. Kris, in turn, helped Diddy launch his Revolt TV network. Diddy was also instrumental in introducing Khloe Kardashian to rapper French Montana, who, surprise, surprise, was signed to Bad Boy Records. Khloe herself has admitted that she went on tour with Diddy when she was just 16 years old, working in his studio and learning discipline.
Why would a 16-year-old Khloe Kardashian go on tour with P. Diddy?
I definitely was drinking at 16.
Yeah, well, we was on tour with Puff when she was 16.
I did not start drinking till later.
You were driving cars at 15.
But fans are now side-eyeing that story, especially in light of allegations that Diddy frequently involved minors in his freak-off parties. In a now viral KUWTK clip, Khloe jokes about leaving a naked Diddy party at 5:30 a.m. And Justin Bieber was there. The vibes? Not great. Oh, and speaking of Justin, Diddy has been closely tied to him for years. They've called each other family. But guess who else was always in those rooms? Kim Kardashian and Kris Jenner's boyfriend, Corey Gamble, who used to be Bieber's tour manager and had personal ties to Diddy's late partner, Kim Porter. That triangle, Kardashians, Justin, and Diddy, has been giving people chills lately. So while Kim is publicly distancing herself from all things Diddy, unfollowing him, refusing to comment, Kanye is blowing up their history like a fireworks show. He's released free Puff merch, begged Donald Trump to pardon Diddy, and even tried to pressure Kendrick Lamar into shouting "Free Puff" at the Super Bowl. It's gotten so bad that Kim reportedly made an emergency custody move after Kanye announced he was bringing North to meet Andrew and Tristan Tate, both men currently facing sex trafficking allegations overseas. It's like Kanye is on a crash-out mission and Kim is in full damage control. And now, legal experts are watching closely to see whether Kanye's vocal support and Kim's family history with Diddy could make them collateral damage in court. Some believe that if Diddy flips and names names, the Kardashians won't be spared. Others worry that Kanye's wild online rants, where he's accused Kim of trafficking and Cassie of blackmail, could become evidence of witness intimidation. For now, Kim is staying quiet. But if Kanye keeps pulling her and North into the scandal, her silence may not last much longer. Because in Diddy's world, no one's safe, and Kanye West seems determined to prove that he's willing to take his whole family down with him. Meanwhile, as most celebrities are working overtime to stay out of the Diddy headlines, Jennifer Lopez is learning the hard way that you can't outrun the past, especially when it's written in tabloid ink.
And he said, listen, y'all can believe what y'all want about J-Lo. He contends that he actually saw the way her and Diddy get down.
From 1999 to 2001, J-Lo and Sean Diddy Combs were one of the most talked about couples in the world. The Bronx-born pop princess and the hip-hop mogul were the ultimate it couple, glamorous, powerful, and everywhere. But that dream pairing came crashing down in the most dramatic way possible, a nightclub shooting that would change both of their lives forever. It was December 27, 1999. J-Lo and Diddy were partying at Club New York in Manhattan when a fight broke out involving Diddy, his entourage, and a known Brooklyn gangster. Bottles shattered, punches flew, and then the gunshots rang out. 3 people were wounded in the chaos, and when the smoke cleared, police found a loaded weapon in Diddy's vehicle. Both Diddy and Jennifer Lopez were arrested on weapons charges. Now here's the twist. While J-Lo's charges were quickly dropped, Diddy was facing 4 serious felonies and the possibility of serious prison time. His then rising artist, Shine, was also arrested and ultimately convicted on 5 charges, including attempted murder. Shine ended up serving nearly 10 years behind bars, and years later, he said outright that Diddy threw him under the bus. According to Shine, Diddy's legal team painted him as the scapegoat while Diddy walked away clean. And J-Lo? She stayed silent.
It's like J-Lo was like his ex-girlfriend, and it's like now deciding she's like warning people against Trump. I'm like, well, wait a second. So how many people did she warn against Diddy?
Right.
Oh, 0. Okay.
Right.
Well, maybe we shouldn't trust her opinion.
In the years following the shooting, Lopez carefully distanced herself from Diddy. When pressed in interviews, she blamed their split on his infidelity, saying he couldn't stay faithful and that their relationship was too much drama. She didn't elaborate further. Until 2024. That's when J-Lo dropped her long-awaited documentary, The Greatest Love Story Never Told. And while the project was mostly centered around her current marriage to Ben Affleck, there was one moment that sent shockwaves through the fandom. Jennifer broke down in tears while describing a past relationship where she felt manhandled and emotionally drained. She never named names. But given the timeline and the highly public nature of her relationship with Diddy, fans didn't need a roadmap. They connected the dots. And just when she thought she could close that chapter for good, 2025 said, "Not so fast." In April, J-Lo made a rare public appearance at an autograph signing event. Everything was going fine, until one fan asked about her past with Diddy. According to multiple reports, including The Blast and The Economic Times, the fan inquired about Diddy's current legal troubles, including his alleged sexual misconduct involving minors. J-Lo immediately froze. Witnesses say she tried to keep smiling, but within seconds, she stopped signing autographs, got up, and abruptly left the venue, leaving fans stunned and confused. Now, to be clear, J-Lo hasn't been named in any lawsuits, but the public isn't forgetting her history with Diddy, especially now that he's facing accusations of running a sex trafficking ring and hosting parties that allegedly involved underage victims. People want to know, what did J-Lo see? What did she know? And why has she stayed so quiet? But get this, a lot of fans believe that it's not just the shooting either. In Cassie's 2023 lawsuit, she claimed Diddy frequently forced her to carry illegal firearms in her purse. That raised a chilling question for fans. Could the same thing have happened to J-Lo during their time together? After all, she was in the car with Diddy the night police found a loaded weapon. She was arrested for a reason. Was she a willing participant? Or just another woman trying to survive in Diddy's chaotic world? That's pretty much a question everyone wants to get some answers for. And then there's the resurfaced clip from a 2015 appearance on The Wendy Williams Show. During the interview, Wendy suggested that J-Lo might one day get back with Diddy. Her mother, who was in the audience, cut that idea off fast, shaking her head and visibly cringing. It was an unspoken reaction that said more than words ever could.
Ooh, getting back with Puffy in a little way.
I remember you said
yes.
that. Yes.
Or, in my mind,
look it.
So now, J.Lo is trying to distance herself as much as she can. In fact, since Diddy's downfall began, Jennifer has maintained total silence. No posts, no press, no public statements. But that silence is starting to speak volumes. Especially now that the paparazzi are circling, fans are digging up old receipts, and reporters are connecting the dots. The truth is, Jennifer didn't just date Diddy. She was there during some of the most dangerous, formative years of his career. She saw it up close. She was on the scene when the bullets flew. And while she may have escaped legal consequences back then, the public is asking a different kind of question now. Not, was she guilty? But, what is she protecting? Well, whether she wants to or not, J.Lo may soon be forced to answer that question. Because as Diddy's trial unfolds, every name, every story, and every connection is being brought to light. And for Jennifer, the spotlight is back on, brighter and hotter than ever before. Now here's a name that nobody expected to get dragged into the Diddy madness: Ashton Kutcher. Yes, that Ashton, the goofy heartthrob from that 70s show, the prank king of punked.
Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis getting divorced. All right, guys, the rumor is that Ashton and Mila have separated in preparation for all of the dirt that's about to surface.
The guy with the charming smile who married Mila Kunis. But lately, Ashton's been acting different, quiet, cautious, and it might have something to do with his old party buddy, Sean Diddy Combs. Back in the early 2000s, Ashton Kutcher wasn't just a sitcom star. He was everywhere: MTV, red carpets, Hollywood house parties, and one name that kept showing up on his party invite list: Diddy. Ashton was a regular fixture at Diddy's wild and exclusive celebrity bashes. These weren't your average Hollywood get-togethers. These were full-blown events that became legend. We're talking about the iconic white parties in the Hamptons, where stars showed up in head-to-toe white outfits, paparazzi were kept at bay, and what happened behind those mansion doors stayed behind those doors. But now that those same parties are at the center of a federal trafficking investigation, Ashton's old social calendar is coming back to haunt him. Let's rewind. In 2009, Ashton co-hosted one of Diddy's infamous white parties, a celebration filled with A-listers, cameras, champagne, and, according to lawsuits filed today, some very questionable behavior behind the scenes. At the time, it was seen as harmless fun, two celebs uniting Hollywood and hip-hop for a glamorous summer bash. But now, the headlines look very different. Because while Ashton was smiling for the cameras, prosecutors say Diddy was running a dark operation behind the velvet ropes. And here's where things get really interesting.
I heard he had
We all heard that.
Yeah, you know
but then, come on, I want to hear what you heard.
I mean, I heard that he had this dude Ashton Kutcher bent over.
When Ashton was asked about those parties on Hot Ones back in 2019, long before any of these scandals broke, he clammed up fast. The host asked what went down at Diddy's parties, and Ashton literally paused, laughed nervously, and said, "Wow, yeah, I've got a lot I can't tell. Can't tell that one either." That reaction aged like milk. Because now that Diddy's facing federal charges, including trafficking, racketeering, and obstruction, people are going back to those interviews, watching Ashton's body language and analyzing his words. And they're asking, what exactly did Ashton see? What is he trying to avoid saying? According to recent reports, Ashton is now on edge as the Diddy case explodes in the headlines. Sources say he's gone into full-on retreat mode, turning down public appearances, dodging interviews, and staying completely silent about his once close connection to Diddy. And who can blame him? The last time Ashton spoke too soon, it backfired big time. You'll remember that in 2023, Ashton and Mila Kunis were heavily criticized for writing character letters in support of convicted rapist Danny Masterson. Public backlash was swift and brutal. Ashton had to step down from his own anti-trafficking foundation, and the couple issued a stiff, uncomfortable apology video that only made things worse.
A couple months ago, Danny's family reached out to us and they asked us to write character letters to represent the person that we knew for 25 years so that the judge could take that into full consideration relative to the sentencing.
The letters were not written to question the legitimacy of the judicial system or the validity of the jury's ruling.
They were intended for the judge to read, and we're sorry.
So now, with another scandal involving sex crimes, and this time involving someone Ashton used to party with, you can bet he's not making that same mistake again. The truth is, Ashton Kutcher and Diddy weren't just Hollywood acquaintances. They were seen together often. Ashton invited Diddy to appear on MTV, and Diddy even made cameos in Punk'd. These weren't random encounters. These were friendships, collaborations, proximity. And in the world of federal investigations, proximity can get real messy. And let's be honest, Ashton's party days weren't exactly private. Photographers captured plenty of moments, and footage from those old events is already circulating online. Fans are digging. Reddit is theorizing. TikTok detectives are stitching clips and asking questions Ashton clearly doesn't want to answer. Could he just be guilty by association? Maybe. But if it turns out Ashton witnessed anything or worse, knew what was happening behind closed doors, his silence won't protect him forever. And that's what makes this so fascinating, because for now, Ashton is lying low. But as the Diddy trial ramps up and more celebrities are subpoenaed, Ashton's name could very well come up, especially if prosecutors decide to go after anyone who knew too much and stayed silent. And judging by Ashton's panicked expression on Hot Ones years ago, he might already know his name's been written down, but that's not even close to the end of it, because there's a long and growing list of celebrities being roped into lawsuits and wild rumors tied directly to Diddy's twisted empire. And one name that just won't stop coming up? Meek Mill.
Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, Daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you. Yeah.
It all started when record producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones dropped one of the most explosive lawsuits of 2024, accusing Diddy of rampant abuse and misconduct. But what made Jaws really hit the floor was a sly little reference buried in the lawsuit. Lil Rod claimed that Diddy once bragged about sleeping with a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj. Now, if you know your hip-hop history, there's only one person who fits that bill: Meek Mill. Within hours, the internet blew up. Fans started digging through old photos, resurfaced party footage, and even memes showing just how close Meek and Diddy used to be. The rumors got so out of hand that people started accusing Meek of being more than just friends with Puff Daddy. And Meek? He was not having it. In fact, the backlash was so intense that Meek took to social media in April 2024 to shut it down fast. In a now-deleted tweet, he said, "Anybody try to sexually assault me, it would be a bang out on the spot. Y'all confusing my 12-year-old son. He's hearing people say his dad is gay. It's sick out here." And if you thought that was the end of it, think again. Meek got so fed up, he literally offered a $100,000 reward to anyone who could prove that he had any connection to Diddy's legal mess. "I want to hire an investigative team, $100,000 cash to find out every specific detail involving Meek Mill name in the Diddy case," he posted. He went even further, suggesting someone in the industry was pushing a false narrative to damage his reputation. But what really grabbed people's attention was a video clip posted in November 2024, just days after Diddy's arrest. Meek looked straight into the camera and said, "No Diddy gang, Meek Millie in real life. Don't ever disrespect me, you heard?" The message couldn't be clearer. He wanted nothing to do with his former friend. And keep in mind, Meek and Diddy weren't just casual acquaintances. They were close. There's a whole catalog of photos showing them at exclusive parties, business events, and private gatherings. So for Meek to go from popping bottles with Diddy to publicly disowning him on camera, that's a massive shift. Even Diddy's son Justin Combs caught wind of the video and reportedly made his own subtle comments online, proving that yes, the bad blood is real. So here's the big question. Is Meek just trying to protect his image and his family from being dragged into the mud? Or did he know something deeper that he's desperately trying to bury now that the feds are involved? Either way, Meek Mill is doing everything in his power to distance himself from Diddy. But with fans still connecting the dots and lawsuits still rolling in, it's unclear whether his name will ever be fully out of the mess because of this scandal. Just being associated might be enough to bring the whole house of cards down. Rod also claimed Diddy was involved with a major male singer who headlined the Super Bowl and had a Vegas residency. Fans believe this points to Usher. Usher once lived with Diddy at age 15 and described some disturbing things he saw, including orgies and girls everywhere. Usher later became tight-lipped and even deleted his tweets in September 2024, fueling speculation. In March 2025, NFL star Odell Beckham Jr. and comedian Drusky were also dragged into the scandal. A woman named Ashley Parham filed a lawsuit saying she was drugged and assaulted at Diddy's instruction. She claimed Drusky attacked her while Odell watched. Both denied it, with Drusky saying he wasn't even in the industry at the time and Odell calling the claims stupid. Despite denials, photos and social media receipts show these celebs have been in Diddy's circle for years. Legal experts now believe Diddy may use his trial to flip on other famous figures in exchange for leniency. Reports even say the FBI has video evidence from Diddy's infamous freak-off parties, footage that could implicate high-profile guests. So, what happens if Diddy exposes them? If he's backed into a corner, he could burn every bridge in the industry to save himself. It's already one of the most dramatic celebrity trials in recent history, and it hasn't even started yet. From music legends and athletes to moguls and actors, no one's safe if the secrets Diddy's been keeping finally hit the courtroom floor. But what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments and make sure to stick around for more updates about this controversial Diddy trial.
The candidates are being asked about their own connections to or impressions of an array of celebrities, and with no explanation why, at least not yet. The parlor games have begun, my friends. Everybody is trying to connect the dots between the shiny, famous names and the beleaguered rap star Diddy.
Those names include actor Michael B. Jordan, rapper Kid Cudi, and comedian Mike Myers. Now, this is just to name a few. Kanye West and Diddy's former partner, Cassie Ventura, are also among the list of celebrities whose names were mentioned in court on day number 1 of the jury selection process.
More big names are getting dragged, and as another day in Diddy's sex trafficking trial just wrapped, Hollywood elites are allegedly scrambling and packing up. This is after they realized that this ain't your average celebrity courtroom mess. We are talking about audio, videos, and Homeland Security pulling up with receipts and dropping a bomb that had the entire room on edge. Now, over 100 A-listers were name-dropped, and the internet went wild. We have Michael B. Jordan, Kanye West, Steve Harvey, Ashton Kutcher, and more. But the silence from these celebs? Deafening. It all started May 5th during jury selection, when lawyers handed out a list so long it looked like Marvel credits. But this wasn't just name-dropping for drama. This was real. The question wasn't, did they do something? It was, do you know these people and will that mess with your judgment? And y'all already know the internet wasted zero time putting on their detective hats. Because if Diddy's going down, some of these folks might just be running scared for a reason. Let's start with the big one. Ashton Kutcher.
You got Ashton Kutcher in love with Mila Kunis on that 70s show. Then they break up for absolutely no reason after he starts hanging out with Diddy. Then he marries Demi Moore, who drained him of all the adrenochrome she can, and apparently he replenished himself by doing inappropriate things with their daughters.
Mr. Punked himself. Mr. I testify for sex offenders in my spare time Kutcher. Ashton was allegedly Diddy's right-hand man back in the early 2000s, always at the parties, always smiling for the cameras. But behind the scenes, the stories get real dark real fast. Remember, Ashton was married to Demi Moore, who herself has admitted to being sexually abused as a child. And that alone is tragic enough. But then you've got the resurfaced clip. Yup, that clip of Demi, clearly intoxicated, kissing 14-year-old actor Philip Tanzini like it's some romantic moment instead of an uncomfortable public display. It was supposed to be his birthday. Instead, it turned into Exhibit A in Hollywood's history of blurring lines with minors. And now, let's look at Ashton. This is the same man who was best friends with convicted Danny Masterson, his longtime co-star from That 70s Show. Danny wasn't just accused. He was convicted, y'all. The jury didn't hesitate. They slapped him with 30 years to life. But what did Ashton do? He wrote a letter, a character letter to the judge saying essentially, yeah, he might have violently assaulted multiple women, but hey, he's always been a good friend to me. People were asking, what are we doing? That's not a defense. That's the equivalent of saying, he didn't rape me, so he must be a good guy. Like, hello? Ashton, are you hearing yourself? And here's where it gets messier. Word on the street? Ashton and Diddy weren't just casual party friends. They were tight. Like, real tight. Ashton was reportedly always around when Diddy was throwing one of his famous white parties, the ones that started looking less like celebrations and more like covert operations. No phones, no press, no limits. Just celebrities, champagne, and allegedly freak-offs behind closed doors. Like, here's a video of him having a lot of fun during one of Diddy's white parties. We're not talking about Ashton showing up once and dipping out early. No, he was a regular. He was there so often, people thought he lived at Diddy's spot. Several insiders, including a former event staffer from those years, have claimed Ashton was always in the mix. They said he wasn't just hanging back in the crowd either. He was in the VIP rooms behind the curtains, allegedly partaking in all the wild after-hours debauchery. Now here's where it turns dangerous. There's allegedly a video, a tape, a freak-off session caught on camera inside Diddy's Central Park West penthouse, with Ashton front and center, not just in attendance, participating. And guess who allegedly has that footage now? Homeland Security. That's right. The same Homeland Security agents testifying in court just revealed that these parties were more than parties. They were operations. They were being monitored, and the footage is now being reviewed in connection with the Diddy's sex trafficking investigation. Suddenly, Ashton's name being brought up in court isn't just casual gossip, it's part of an active federal probe. But wait, because Ashton is trying real hard to keep that image squeaky clean. These days, he's giving podcast interviews with Mila Kunis, talking about how they raise their kids. You know, trying to seem relatable, down to earth, normal. Recently, Ashton admitted that his parenting style is, in his own words, shaped by toxic masculinity.
And when my son cries, I'm like, all right, you know, good. We're going to let, you know, what do we learn? Let's go. Let's move on. And when my daughter cries, it's like, my heart is out of my body and I can't put it back in. And I don't know if that's, there's probably like a ton of just, in some senses, maybe like toxic masculinity that I've had in my life that like it treats my son different than my daughter in that way.
The internet exploded. Some people applauded the honesty, but the overwhelming majority called him out for pushing gender stereotypes that are way past their expiration date. Critics asked, how are you still raising boys to man up in 2025, especially when you've witnessed firsthand what happens when boys grow up thinking emotions are weakness and power means control? Even parenting experts chimed in. One expert said, telling boys to be protectors while telling girls to protect themselves isn't modern parenting, it's recycling trauma. And they're right. Ashton and Mila are billionaires. They have the resources to break the cycle, to set new standards, and to show their kids a better way. But instead, they're out here perpetuating the same outdated formula that Hollywood has profited off for decades. And when you really zoom out, the irony is thick. Ashton helped build a tech company to combat child exploitation. He's testified before Congress. He's shed tears for victims overseas. And yet, when his own inner circle is rotting from the inside out? Well, it's the very same toxic masculinity he talks about struggling with. Still alive and well in his own household, influencing how he raises his son. So, yeah, Ashton might be trying to act like he's out here doing the work. But if you're protecting predators, sitting silent when your friends are hurting people, and teaching your kids the same outdated power dynamics that fueled this whole mess, you're not part of the solution. You are the problem. Ashton's good guy mask might finally be cracking for good, because in a courtroom, no amount of tech startups, podcast interviews, or parenting philosophies is going to save you. Next up, Steve Harvey. This one is wild.
Oh my god, the Steve Harvey baby oil on pizza video did not age well for him. Take a look.
So could you help us out with some fun Thursdays? And remember, I'm a pastor's wife.
I ain't really got no Christian answer for you. You want to spruce things up with the pastor. I'm just gonna have to keep it real with you. Y'all been having like bowling night and pizza night and all like that. Just throw some baby oil in there.
Because Steve Harvey has built his entire brand on being Mr. Family Man, the clean-cut king of daytime TV, the mustache, the suits, the best-selling books on how men should think, all those relationship tips and motivational quotes on Instagram, all that act like a lady, think like a man energy, that's been Steve's bread and butter for decades. But behind that smile, behind that big uncle at the cookout energy, allegedly is a much darker reality. Back in 2019, the internet exploded with rumors that Steve's daughter, Lori Harvey, was dating none other than Sean Diddy Combs. That's right, Diddy, and not just dating. We're talking vacations together in Italy, dinners in Soho, and very public hand-holding moments that made people do a double take. Why? Because at the time, Lori was fresh off a relationship with Diddy's son, Justin Combs.
Y'all, with this whole Cassie and Diddy situation, disclaimer, she was 19 when he was 37. Y'all remember them? Y'all remember Lori Harvey and Diddy? And now they were rumored to be dating and you know how long this relationship lasted? You know how long it took for her to get out of here? For her to be like, Pete? AI says 3 months. 3 months. And then she unfollowed him on social media.
Let that sink in. First, she dates her son. Then, she's allegedly linked to the father. And Steve Harvey was silent. Not a single public word condemning the alleged situation. No protective dad energy. No father-daughter boundaries talk. Nothing. And the silence spoke volumes. Because, according to multiple online insiders, and yeah, take it how you want to take it, Steve allegedly knew. In fact, some believe he approved. Some even go further, saying Steve pushed Lori into that relationship to stay in Diddy's good graces. And it gets darker. Allegedly, Diddy invited Steve to one of his infamous freak-offs, those highly exclusive, off-the-grid, anything-goes gatherings where privacy disappears and cameras roll. Word is, back in the 90s, Steve attended one of those freak-offs and didn't exactly leave with his reputation intact. Sources claim that Diddy recorded Steve Harvey in a compromising position during one of those parties, and that footage has been used as leverage ever since. Yeah, you heard me, blackmail, allegedly for years. That's why Steve never said anything when the rumors about Diddy and Lori flared up. That's why he stayed quiet. Because of that footage allegedly still exists. And Diddy, until recently, was one of the most untouchable men in the industry. Powerful, connected, and definitely not afraid to hold dirt on people. In fact, this theory gained even more traction in late 2024, right after Diddy's arrest. Fans noticed something strange. Steve Harvey started deleting old posts that referenced Diddy, pictures from events, captions showing love and respect. All gone. No explanation. And the internet was watching. Some said it was Steve trying to distance himself, clean up the brand, act like the connection never happened. But others weren't buying it. They called it what it looked like, a reputation-saving move. A late-game Hail Mary to protect the motivational mentor image before the fallout got worse. Let's not forget, Steve Harvey's whole identity is built on respectability. He gives marriage advice on daytime TV. He lectures black men on integrity. He has full-on sit-downs with women, telling them how to vet their partners. But how do you give advice when your own daughter allegedly got passed from Diddy's son to Diddy himself and you didn't blink? It's giving hypocrite. And don't even get me started on the rumors about Steve using Lori as a pawn for access. There's this long-running belief in Hollywood that powerful men trade their daughters, their wives, even their own reputations to stay close to other powerful men. You scratch my back, I hand over my daughter's contact card. It's disgusting, and allegedly, Steve played the game. When Gina Hoon's interview resurfaced in 2020, the Diddy-Lori rumors came back with full force. And now, in the middle of Diddy's trafficking trial, guess whose name is quietly being whispered in the background? Steve Harvey. People are questioning, if Diddy was trafficking women, recording freak-offs and using blackmail as currency, what did Steve see? What did he know? And more importantly, what did he stay silent about? And here's the thing. Lori has since denied the relationship. She unfollowed Diddy on Instagram. She's moved on. But the damage, the optics, already done. The internet never forgets. And when people started digging into those 2019 vacation photos, they noticed something else. Steve was there too. So let's not act brand new. Steve Harvey built a public image of morals, family, and wisdom. But if even half of these allegations are true, then the man preaching from the Family Feud podium might just be one of Hollywood's best-dressed wolves. And now that Diddy's empire is collapsing and receipts are getting pulled left and right, Steve might want to get ahead of it, because the longer he stays silent, the louder the questions get. And speaking of Lori Harvey's exes, Michael B. Jordan got dragged into this too. His name was also on the trial list. Now, let me be clear. These celebrities aren't being accused yet. But let's not play dumb. If your name shows up on a list being reviewed by Homeland Security in a federal sex trafficking and racketeering case, it's not random. That means they're expecting someone to bring you up during testimony. And here's where it gets spicy. During Cassie's emotional testimony, where she spilled the darkest chapters of her 11-year relationship with Diddy, another name allegedly came up behind closed doors. According to insider chatter, Michael B. Jordan wasn't just a potential witness or someone associated with Lori. He was allegedly someone Diddy had on his radar for a while because of Cassie. Yep, there's a swirling rumor that Michael B. Jordan and Cassie may have had an affair while she was still involved with Diddy.
Patriots, this just in, so we have a little bit more information on why Michael B. Jordan was named in this case. Now, it is because in 2015, he had a relationship with Cassie Ventura. That is right.
And listen, if that's true, that would explain a lot of Diddy's reported jealousy, surveillance, and rage during that time. Several accounts from people close to the couple say Diddy was known to obsess over Cassie's movements. Who did she speak to? Who did she text? Who did she even look at? And Michael B. allegedly showed up at a few parties, got too friendly. Now, to be clear, there's no confirmation of a full-blown relationship between Michael and Cassie, but Cassie's testimony did reference Diddy accusing her of seeing someone behind his back. She described one incident where Diddy flew into a violent rage after discovering she'd texted an unnamed male celebrity. The name wasn't read out loud in open court. But guess what name is on the prosecution's to be referenced list? Michael B. Jordan. Coincidence? You decide. And here's where things come full circle. After Cassie finally escaped Diddy and the whole relationship imploded, guess who stepped into the spotlight with Lori Harvey not long after? Michael B. again. So, now we have a triangle. Diddy's alleged former girlfriend, Cassie. Diddy's alleged current fling at the time, Lori and Michael B. Jordan standing at the intersection of both relationships. That's not messy, that's a web.
In 2023, when Cassie initially filed her complaint against Diddy, Cassie alleged that back in 2015, her and Diddy were on a break and she started a flirtatious relationship with an actor. Reportedly, Diddy found out and ended up threatening this actor, allegedly. It has since been revealed that the actor is Michael B. Jordan.
And Diddy allegedly wanted Michael gone from both. The speculation now is that Diddy's obsession with Cassie and his weird fixation with controlling Lori both revolved around Michael B. Jordan. Some even say that when Michael went public with Lori, it was a deliberate power move to prove that he wasn't scared of Diddy. But behind the scenes, sources say security was heightened, NDAs were signed, and Michael's team worked overtime to scrub any associations that could link him directly to Diddy's world. And now that the tapes are being reviewed, the freak-offs are being investigated, and Homeland Security is handing over names like grocery receipts, the question remains, what does Michael B. Jordan know? Because the reality is, if Cassie did name-drop him during private testimony, it means prosecutors believe he could provide relevant information. Maybe he saw something. Maybe he heard something. Or maybe Diddy's paranoia about him being too close to Cassie and Lori wasn't paranoia at all. It was projection. Let's not forget, Michael's entire brand has been squeaky clean. He's never been tied to a scandal until now, and even though he's not facing accusations, the fact that he's included in this trial on that list during this kind of investigation? Let's just say, nobody ends up near this mess by accident. Something ain't adding up. And the closer we get to more names being read out in open court, the harder it'll be to stay quiet. Now, let's pivot to Kanye West. Ye's name was on the juror list too. And if you've been paying attention for the past few years, this man has been unraveling in public like a Christmas sweater on fire, from erratic rants to political chaos, to marrying a woman who looks exactly like Kim Kardashian, but might have said 6 words total since the wedding. It's safe to say, Ye hasn't exactly been sending out stable energy lately. And let's be real, Ye has seen things, and he's been around all the key players. Did he? Oh yeah, Kanye has been to multiple of Diddy's legendary white parties. The ones with no phones, private rooms, closed doors, you already know. And once you've been behind those doors, once you're inside that circle, you don't leave clean. Not mentally, not spiritually, not reputationally. At first, Kanye kept it low-key, but when Diddy's world started crumbling, Ye did something that made everybody do a double take. He doubled down in support.
You know what I'm saying? It's wicked, wicked, wicked. So you be careful.
Yeah.
We can't do nothing if they, you know what I'm saying? I need you out there, you feel me?
Yeah. I hear you. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thanks again, and you know, I'm gonna see you soon, man.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's how it's gonna be. You gonna definitely beat this shit. Yeah.
Yes,
sir. And that's it.
That's it, and that's all, baby. But I'm gonna make sure I call you back or something. It'd be good to hear your voice again.
Yeah.
Like 59 more days before trial, so I'll definitely be touching in to tap into your energy or something.
Yeah.
Play me some shit over the phone, give me some fucking life. This shit fucking sad. I broke daddy in jail. This shit is fucking sad as a motherfucker.
Yup. Just days after the allegations about sex trafficking, rape, and abuse started circulating, Kanye dropped a Free Puff clothing line. Yes, while the rest of Hollywood distanced themselves from Diddy like he was nuclear waste, Ye was out here putting Free Puff on hoodies like this was some injustice. And if that wasn't enough, he hopped on X and wrote, "All these celebrity niggas and bitches is pussy. Y'all watch our brother rot and never say shit." Sir, what are we doing? Instead of taking a breath, Ye kept pushing. 1 week later, just after security footage was released of Diddy physically attacking Cassie Ventura, dragging her through a hotel hallway, slamming her to the ground, and kicking her like she wasn't even human, Ye posted a still image from the clip and defended it. Not condemned, not questioned, defended. He wrote, "When a man truly loves a woman, he may express it in rage. I empathize with both sides." Both sides? What sides, yeah? There's a man assaulting a woman on video. And you want to talk about love? And just in case there was any hope he was trolling or being sarcastic, nope. He followed up with this: "You have to truly be in love to get to the point of risking everything." Risking everything, yeah? He wasn't risking a proposal, he was risking her life. But he didn't stop there. Because when the internet dragged him for this nonsense, Ye turned his sarcasm dial to 100 and posted again saying, "Hey, question. If someone were to beat up their girlfriend in public, would that be considered domestic violence? Or is that outdoor violence? Or is it just public indecency? I'm just asking for a friend." This wasn't edgy. This wasn't witty. This was dangerous rhetoric from a man who has 4 children, massive influence, and more than enough money to get real help if he actually wanted to. Now, let's zoom out. Kanye's entire public persona over the last decade has been this chaotic mix of brilliance and breakdown. But this felt different. This felt like alignment with a man whose life is imploding under criminal investigations and decades of disturbing behavior. And maybe that's why Ye's name is now sitting on that government-issued juror list. Again, he's not being accused. Not yet. And if you're wondering why Ye's even bothering to ride for Diddy this hard, maybe it's guilt, maybe it's loyalty, or maybe he knows too much. Because remember, Ye doesn't exactly keep secrets. The moment someone crosses him, he spills tea faster than a barista in a brawl. So, what happens if he ends up on the stand? You might be unpredictable, but he's not dumb, and that's what makes this so interesting. Because for someone who's always talking about God, about morality, about saving the culture, Kanye West is doing a whole lot of defending monsters right now. And the closer this trial gets to revealing everything, the more Ye's support starts looking like a cover. Now let's talk T.D. Jakes, the bishop, the preacher, the spiritual leader to thousands, the man behind the Potter's House mega church, a religious figure so influential presidents have sat in his congregation and celebrities have flown across the country just to hear him speak. But here's where it gets shady. T.D. Jakes was also Diddy's friend. Nota, we met once at an event type of friend. Nah, they were seen together multiple times in private settings and at industry events. Photos, videos, mutual praise. Diddy even once credited T.D. Jakes for helping him through personal struggles, calling him a powerful man of God. But now that the spotlight is on Diddy's alleged trafficking ring, freak-off tapes, and criminal enterprise, T.D. Jakes suddenly steps down from his church leadership role just days before the trial starts.
T.D. Jakes finally announced on Sunday that he would be stepping down as the head pastor of his mega church and turning it over to his daughter, Sarah Jakes. But I don't find this to be so surprising because it has really been a long time coming. We know the allegations that were put out there associating him with the Diddy case. Now this was a minute ago. He was in the blind items and he was just denying. But all of a sudden he just passed out. Why are you passing out? As TMZ put it, mysterious health problems. You're having these mysterious health problems and telling your congregation, oh, you're looking at a miracle. Everything with T.D. Jakes is just a gimmick.
Coincidence? I don't think so. And the church community? They're side-eyeing hard, because this isn't just a pastor retiring. This is a man walking away from the pulpit he built from scratch, and he does it without a scandal of his own, without a transition plan, just a quiet announcement. People are starting to whisper, if T.D. Jakes was that close to Diddy, what did he know? And worse, what was he part of? Because in Diddy's world, nobody's just a friend. And then there's Will Smith. Yup, the Fresh Prince got dragged into this too. He's been to Diddy's parties, his wife Jada too. And we're not just talking about casual industry mixers. We're talking about those parties, the ones with NDAs, security at every corner, and no phones allowed. The kind of parties that Hollywood knows about, but nobody ever talks about.
Will Smith claps back at memes of him and Sean Diddy Combs and speaks out for the first time about his history with the music mogul. The Oscar winner took the stage at the Observatory North Park in San Diego December 12th, and during a break in the show, the rapper called out memes he'd seen online trolling his past association with Combs.
But people have seen things. Over the years, there have been plenty of photos of Will and Diddy hanging out, laughing, toasting, and getting cozy at after parties. And it didn't stop with just the photos. There have been whispers for years that Will and Jada were allegedly involved in threesomes with Diddy. Not confirmed, but the rumors were loud. And the moment this trial started heating up, Will hopped on a mic in San Diego and made sure to say loud and clear, "I don't know nothing about no damn freak-offs." That energy sounded like damage control, because now old clips are resurfacing, jokes on talk shows, teasing about baby oil, inside jokes that felt funny back then, but now, not so much. Now they feel like coded language, like they were hiding in plain sight the whole time. People are starting to connect the dots, and Will's name might not be going away anytime soon. And let's not forget about the people who've already vanished. One male sex worker who reportedly gave tapes to the feds? Gone. Disappeared. This is exactly what happened in the Tory Lanez case. Witnesses vanish, people stop showing up, and the media pretends it's normal. But we see it. We see how this industry protects its own. They'll sacrifice everyone except the top dogs. Until now. Because Diddy might be the first domino, but behind him, there's a whole damn Jenga tower. Look, nobody's saying all these celebs are guilty, but when over 100 names show up in a federal trafficking trial, you've got to ask, why them? Why now? The NDAs can't protect them anymore. The silence won't work. Hollywood is cracking and the truth is pouring out. And as for Diddy, sources say he's spiraling behind the scenes, allegedly still abusing MDMA, the love drug that many say turned him into a sexual deviant in the first place. And now, the same people who smiled with him, toasted champagne with him, pandosed for red carpet pics with him are ghosting him. Because they know what's coming next. Cassie's testimony was just the beginning. Dawn Richard is next. Homeland Security has tapes. Victims are finally speaking. Justice may be late, but it's pulling up. So, to Steve Harvey, Ashton Kutcher, Michael B. Jordan, TD Jakes, and the 100 others on that list, y'all better get your story straight, because if this trial keeps going the way it's going, you're next. This isn't just about Puffy. This is about an entire industry of predators, blackmail, manipulation, and trauma that spans decades. This trial? It's not a headline. It's a reckoning. And we'll be here, watching, reporting, speaking up for the ones who were never supposed to be heard. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. Because of the tea is boiling, and this is just the beginning.